I'm going to show you how to change your oil. 36% of Americans don't know how to change their oil, or do any basic car care for that matter. Changing your oil is essential to keeping you on the road and your car in good health. First, you need to know when your car's oil needs changed. If it's been about 3,000 miles to 5,000 miles since your last oil change, or somewhere in 6 months, 5 to 6 months, you need to change your oil. Before you start, you will need some basic tools and things like that. So first off, you're going to want to go to your car's manual and you're going to look what weight of oil your engine needs. More than likely, it's going to be, if you have a truck or something, it's going to be 5W30. This is not 5W30, this is something else. But most of the time it's 5W30. You can find it at Walmart. You also need a filter, and you can go to an auto parts store, tell them your car, make, model, and anything like that, and they will get you a filter. Or you can go to Walmart, look it up in the book they have in this store, and get your filter that way. First off, you're gonna need some tools. Some basic sockets will probably work to get your drain plug out. And for your filter, there's a variety of different types of tools you can use. These go on the end of a ratchet. These can go on the end of a ratchet, and these are for oil filters. You kind of stick them like this. Put them on your oil filter like so, and screw it, tighten it, whatever you do. These are probably the best ones. They don't really damage your oil filter as bad. And these are for getting them off mainly because these will poke holes and damage your oil filter. And that's what I mean. You are also going to need a funnel, a clean funnel to put your oil back in your engine, and a drain pan to get the oil out of your engine and not make a giant mess. Which no matter what, you probably will make a mess because that's just how things are. You want to find a nice stable surface, preferably concrete, to jack your vehicle up on. Make sure it's nice and even. You don't want it to fall on top of you. That'd be very bad. Feel me when I do this. Now you're going to put jack stands underneath it so that it doesn't fall off this one. And now you want to let it down easy. Now you need to drain your oil. So we're going to go into the vehicle. Ow. Oh God. Okay, when you're under here, you're going to want to find the correct socket size that fits your drain pan plug. That's not the right one. Make sure it's a good snug fit so you don't strip out the plug. That's the wrong one. And you're going to get it loose, and it should just come right out. This is what it should look like. It should come out the back of your oil pan on your engine. And make sure you kind of keep an eye on it, because as it gets, the oil level gets lower, it will kind of move the stream, and that makes a big mess, and that happens all the time. At this point, it's about done draining. So you can go ahead and put your drain plug back in to your oil pan. And when you put it back on, you want to make sure it's snug, enough to where you can't like use it or untie it with your hand. But you don't want to get it too tight because you can strip that out. And then you have to replace your whole oil pan, which is very costly. The next thing you want to do is locate your oil filter. Now this is pretty easy. It's right here on the side of the engine. But sometimes if you have a newer car, they can be located over here, down in front, and really odd spots that are kind of a pain to get to. But this one's really easy. You just go ahead and position your oil pan underneath your oil filter or the general area just to catch up some of the oil. It shouldn't leak a lot, but it will leak a little bit. And yeah, go ahead and pull it off. So you're going to want to take off the oil filter. You can use any of the tools I showed you, as long as they fit and they don't, damage anything. This one just goes on the top of it and it just screws right off. Okay, you got your oil filter off, and this can go directly into the trash. If you can get it off. Next thing you want to do, you're going to want to get your new filter out of your box, but keep your box because you'll need that later. And you want to take your finger, if you have to touch the oil, you want to wipe a little bit of that excess oil, and you want to put it on the seal. And you can put it on there a little heavy. Make sure it's clean oil, not super like grimy, gross oil. This oil is fine. It's not touching any dirt or anything. But yeah, and put some on the threads, just to lube it up. Is put your oil filter on your engine. So you can use any of the tools, like I said before. I prefer not to use these when putting them back on because they do poke holes in it, and you have to replace your filter, and it's just a big pain. So first, start off by just screwing it on there. Get it on there. Ah. Just screw it on there until you can get it snug with your hand. Like that. And then you want to take any of the tools and you want to tighten it up. Do not tighten it very tight because you will strip it out. And once again, that is very expensive. And you have to get a filter, it's just a pain. Next thing you really need is you're gonna want your clean funnel to put your oil back in. Make sure you have your drain plug back in and you have your oil filter back in correctly, and make sure they're good to go so you don't leak any oil. And you're gonna find your oil fill cap, take that off, put your deal in there, and then you're gonna get your oil. Usually they have a little deal right there. I don't know why these don't exactly, but this should hold 5 quarts of oil. So just dump all 5 quarts in there. Another thing, before you drain your oil, you're gonna want to make sure your oil is a little warm, not super warm. So if you've been driving it, the engine's hot. Let it cool for about an hour, because your oil is going to be up in your engine more, and it'll take longer to drain. And also, it's hot, and that sucks because, it burns. And you don't want it super cold either because it'll come out as a sludge more, and it'll take a long time to drain. And it's just easier to work with, I guess. So I said to keep that box earlier. So you're going to want to take the lid. Make sure it has your oil filter number right there is the same as that. And also the brand. You just rip that off. And then you're going to want to write the date and the mileage. So what's this date? 226. And I don't know what the date is. 46,620. And you're also going to want to write the mileage it should be changed at. So you add 4,000 to it, and that is 46,920, right? I don't know. And then you're going to take this, put it in your glove box, but I can't get it. Next thing you want to do, you're going to want to get rid of that old oil. Now, do not dump it in your yard. Don't dump it in a drain or anything like that. Make sure you put it in you can put it in an oil bucket or an old oil jug that you've used before. But just make sure you just dump it somewhere. And then you can take it to somewhere that recycles oil, or the Hutchinson dump. They also recycle oil. That's usually where I take mine. So yeah. As you can see, messes will be made. As you can see here, you know, you just kind of wipe it off your shoes or something and whatnot. Trying to make a big mess. It's everywhere. And then for oil spots like this one, you can use Floor Dry. They sell it as Floor Dry, or you can just use cat litter. That's basically what this is. It should just dry that right up. Make sure you get it on all of those spots, or they will stain. After you change your oil, make sure you jack down your vehicle. Take out the jack stands. Oh, and also clean up. What's up, doing? After you get your cap back on and putting all your oil in there, you're going to want to check your dipstick. Usually they're pretty easy to locate on your car. And you're going to want to pull it out, wipe it off with a rag, paper towel, your clothes, anything really have by that you don't get dirty. And put it back in there, pull it back out, and it should say, you can see it right there where the edge of the oil is. It should say full, and that's where you want it. Before you start it, you're going to want it a little full, because you have to keep in mind you have a lot of oil in there, but your filter is also not full of oil. So after you start it, go ahead and check it again and make sure it is still full. So that is how you change your oil. It's very easy. Anybody can do it as long as you have the right tools and right stuff to do it. Make sure you don't put the wrong oil in your car. Make sure you know which cap is the oil cap. Don't put it in your antifreeze. That's not good. That will mess up your car. And that's it, basically. Very easy to do it. You can do it to save money or whatever. So, yeah.